Breaking news. Liverpool consider bold swap deal with Tottenham as Mick van de Ven emerges as priority target. Liverpool are reportedly exploring one of the most eye-catching transfer ideas of the January window, with sources close to the situation suggesting that the Reds are considering a direct swap deal with Tottenham Hotspur involving Andy Robertson and Mick van de Ven. The proposed agreement, which could be finalised before the end of the winter transfer window, would see Robertson move to North London while Liverpool secure the signature of the Dutch centre-back as part of a major defensive reshuffle at Anfield. According to sources familiar with the negotiations, Liverpool's recruitment team believes that this type of deal could solve multiple issues at once. With uncertainty surrounding the long-term future of Ibrahima Konate and the club keen to refresh its defensive options, Mick van de Ven has emerged as a top priority target. Tottenham, meanwhile, are understood to admire Andy Robertson's leadership, Premier League experience, and relentless style, viewing him as an ideal addition to strengthen their left side. Liverpool's defensive rebuild underway. Liverpool's interest in Van de Ven is not sudden. The club has been monitoring the Dutch international since his early days in Germany, and his explosive impact since joining Tottenham has only strengthened their admiration. Van de Ven's pace, physicality and composure on the ball make him a perfect fit for Liverpool's high defensive line, especially in a system that demands centre-backs capable of covering large spaces. Internally, Liverpool see Van de Ven as a defender who could anchor their backline for the next decade. At just 23 years old, he already looks like one of the Premier League's most dominant central defenders, combining elite recovery speed with intelligent positioning. The Reds believe his profile aligns perfectly with their long-term sporting vision, and that January represents a rare opportunity to strike. Andy Robertson's situation at Anfield. Andy Robertson remains one of Liverpool's most decorated and respected players of the modern era. A Champions League winner, Premier League winner, and long-time vice-captain, the Scottish international has been a symbol of consistency and intensity since arriving from Hull City. However, sources suggest Liverpool are beginning to plan for the future, particularly as Robertson enters his late 20s with an intense playing history behind him. While Robertson is still valued highly by the club and the dressing room, Liverpool are aware that this might be the right moment to extract maximum value from the player, especially if it helps secure a younger elite defender like Van de Ven. The idea of a swap deal significantly reduces the financial burden of a January signing, something that appeals to Liverpool's data-driven recruitment model. Tottenham's perspective on the deal. From Tottenham's point of view, the proposal is far from being dismissed. Spurs are currently assessing ways to add experience and leadership to their squad, particularly in defence and wide areas. Andy Robertson's relentless work rate, crossing ability and big game mentality are qualities Tottenham believe could elevate their squad immediately. There is also an understanding within the Tottenham hierarchy that while Mick van de Ven is hugely important, swap deals of this magnitude rarely present themselves. The possibility of acquiring a proven Premier League winner without a massive cash outlay is attractive, especially in a tight January market where quality options are limited. Tactical implications for both clubs. If completed, this swap deal would represent a significant tactical shift for both teams. At Liverpool, Van de Ven would likely slot straight into the starting 11, offering balance alongside Virgil van Dijk or his long-term successor. His ability to defend wide spaces would allow Liverpool's fullbacks more freedom going forward, maintaining the club's aggressive attacking identity. For Tottenham, Robertson would immediately become a key figure on the left flank. His experience in high-pressure environments could prove invaluable, particularly in big league fixtures and European competition. Spurs believe his presence could also accelerate the development of younger players around him. Player reactions and dressing room dynamics. Sources suggest that both players are open to the idea, though no final decisions have been made. Andy Robertson is understood to be professional and respectful of Liverpool's direction, while Mick van de Ven is intrigued by the prospect of joining a club with Liverpool's history, global stature, and consistent Champions League ambitions. Behind the scenes, discussions are said to be ongoing regarding contract terms, squad roles, and the timing of the move. Liverpool want clarity quickly, while Tottenham are carefully weighing the sporting and emotional impact of losing one of their most promising defenders. January deadline approaches. With the January transfer window entering its decisive phase, time is becoming a critical factor. Liverpool are eager to conclude their defensive business early to allow any new signing to integrate immediately. Tottenham, on the other hand, do not want to be rushed into a decision that could reshape their squad for years to come. Negotiations are expected to intensify in the coming days, with intermediaries working to bridge valuation gaps and finalise personal terms. While nothing is agreed yet, optimism is growing that a compromise could be reached before the deadline. A deal that could define the window. If finalised, this Robertson-Van de Ven swap would be one of the most talked about transfers of the season. It represents ambition, calculated risk, and strategic thinking from both clubs. For Liverpool, it signals a clear commitment to the future. For Tottenham, it offers instant experience and leadership. As January edges toward its conclusion, all eyes remain on Anfield and North London. This is a transfer saga that could reshape two top Premier League sides, and it may be closer to completion than many expect. Why the Robertson-Van de Ven swap deal would be a major win for Liverpool. If Liverpool were to successfully complete a swap deal with Tottenham Hotspur involving Andy Robertson and Mick van de Ven, the move would represent a strategic victory on multiple levels for the club. Beyond the headlines, such a deal would perfectly align with Liverpool's short-term needs and long-term vision, strengthening the squad while maintaining financial discipline. First and foremost, Mick van de Ven would significantly upgrade Liverpool's defensive profile. The Dutch centre-back is one of the fastest defenders in the Premier League, a rare attribute that is crucial for a team like Liverpool that often plays with a high defensive line. His recovery pace would reduce Liverpool's vulnerability to counter-attacks, an issue that has occasionally hurt them in recent seasons. Van de Ven's physical strength, aerial ability and composure under pressure make him ideally suited to the intensity of Liverpool's system. Secondly, this deal would help Liverpool future-proof their defence. With ongoing uncertainty surrounding Ibrahima Konaté's long-term future and concerns over injuries in central defence, Van de Ven would arrive as a young, durable and elite-level option capable of anchoring the back line for years. At just 23 years old, he fits perfectly into Liverpool's recruitment model of signing players who can peak at Anfield rather than decline there. From a tactical perspective, Van de Ven's presence would give Liverpool greater flexibility. His ability to defend wide areas allows fullbacks to push forward with confidence, maintaining Liverpool's aggressive attacking style. He is also comfortable on the ball, meaning Liverpool would not lose their ability to build from the back, a key principle of their play. Financially, the swap deal would be extremely smart business. Andy Robertson, while still a high-quality player, is approaching the latter stages of his peak years. Exchanging him for a younger defender of Van de Ven's calibre reduces the need for a large cash outlay in January, a notoriously difficult and expensive window. Liverpool would effectively convert experience into longevity without destabilising their wage structure. Squad balance is another major advantage. Liverpool already have emerging options at left-back, allowing the club to manage Robertson's departure without leaving a tactical vacuum. In contrast, elite centre-backs are far harder to secure, especially those already proven in the Premier League. This deal would solve a more urgent positional need. Finally, completing such a transfer would send a strong message of ambition. It would show that Liverpool are not afraid to make bold decisions to remain competitive at the highest level. Bringing in Van de Ven would demonstrate clear planning, decisiveness and belief in a new defensive core built to compete for domestic and European trophies. In conclusion, if this deal were to go through, Liverpool would emerge as the clear beneficiaries. They would gain youth, speed, tactical stability and long-term security, all while managing costs and preparing for the future. It would be a calculated move, but one that could pay dividends for many seasons to come.